tampering with and the poisoning of the product did not, I repeat, did not take place in our plant.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today, my group and I will be sharing on the background of a landmark case in forensic toxicology and consumer safety, the Tylenol murders of 1982. This case not only shocked the nation, but also exposed the vulnerabilities on how medication was sold and packaged back in those days. Back in 1982, there was no such thing as tamper-proof drug packaging. Medications like extra-strength Tylenol was sold in a simple bottle with just cotton ball under the lid. No seals, no barriers, and nothing to prevent someone from opening the bottle, contaminating it, and putting it back on the shelf unnoticed. But everything has changed since what happened in Chicago that autumn. The case began tragically with the death of 12-year-old Mary Kellerman. On September 28, 1982, she took a Tylenol capsule for a cold, but collapsed moments later. Unfortunately, she died shortly after. In just within 48 hours, 6 more people, including 3 members of the Chinese family, died in a similar unfortunate circumstances. But what connected them? Toxicological analysis revealed that each of them had ingested capsules laced with potassium cyanide. When someone swallows potassium cyanide, it rapidly reacts with the stomach acid and releases cyanide ions. These ions will then enter the bloodstream and inhibit the enzymes in the mitochondria that are responsible for cellular respirations. This blocks the body's ability to use oxygen even if the oxygen is present. Since this disruption happens almost immediately, vital organs such as brain and heart are deprived of energy within minutes. This leading to rapid symptoms such as unconsciousness and even death. The investigation came when nurse Helen Johnson visited the Janice family's home and found a recently purchased Tylenol bottle. Laboratory testing revealed that the remaining capsules contained nearly triple the lethal dose of cyanide. What made this case especially chilling and disturbing was the randomness of the attack. The victims had no personal or geographical connections. Anyone buying Tylenol from a store shelf could have been next. Additionally, the poison acted within minutes, leaving almost no room for survivability. However, the case poses enormous challenges. Back in those days, gelatin capsules were easy to open and reseal, making tampering nearly undetectable. Investigators also faced challenges due to lack of surveillance footage to track who may have handled or returned the bottles. Barcoding systems and digital tracking were also not in place, making it nearly impossible to trace distribution paths. As a result, investigators had no clear suspect, no motives, and no forensic trail to follow, turning this into one of the most frustrating, unsolvable crimes in forensic history.
Now that we have covered the case background, let's move into the detailed analysis. The first victim was found dead in Elk Grove Village. The second victim was found dead in Arlington Heights. The third and fourth victim, which is a husband and wife, was found dead in Lyme. The fifth victim was found dead in Winfield. The sixth victim was found dead in Elmhurst. The last victim in Chicago. There's no personal ties between all the 7 victims. However, their death was geographically clustered in Chicago metropolitan area. And this is where forensic toxicology comes into play, revealing cyanide as the common lethal agent. It turned out that all the victims had ingested a Tylenol capsule laced with cyanide. What is cyanide? Cyanide is a natural, highly toxic, and rapidly acting chemical. It can exist in 2 forms. First, it can exist in the form of hydrogen cyanide, a colorless gas. Secondly, it can exist in the form of either in sodium or potassium cyanide in its crystal form. The cyanide toxicity is due to the inhibition of mitochondrial respiration in cells, which we have discussed before. Some of the symptoms of the cyanide poisoning of the victim reported is collapse, seizure, and death within minutes. Moreover, there's a bitter almond smell associated with the cyanide had been reported at the capsule. According to the Illinois Poison Center, only 50% of the people can detect the potassium cyanide smell due to genetic variation. A study in 2018 reported that 15% of the cyanide poisoning reported case had a bitter almond odor, which is rare. Based on earlier information, it gives direction of the investigation to analyze the Tylenol capsule. Based on the report, a 15 mg of the Tylenol capsule was found to contain 65 mg of potassium cyanide, which is above the lethal dose. It is aligned with a study in 1979 that found the lethal dose of potassium cyanide is between 50 mg to 200 mg, which is equivalent to the 0.7 to 2.9 mg per kg of body weight. A more recent study in 2024 stated that the lethal dose of potassium cyanide is between 0.5 to 3.5 milligram per kg. The cyanide amount of the Tylenol exceed the minimum lethal dose indicate that it is an intentional poisoning instead of accidental contamination. The blood analysis of the victim confirmed that their death is due to the cyanide poisoning. The alignment of the cyanide content with established toxicological data reinforced the role of cyanide as the primary cause of death. This picture shows the comparison of the two extra-strength Tylenol capsule. At the left picture is a normal capsule that contains acetaminophen, which is the primary active ingredient in Tylenol. At the right picture shows the capsule that have been tempered with cyanide. From the picture, we can see the difference in the powder texture of the capsule, as the tempered with cyanide capsule have a granular texture due to the crystalline form of the cyanide. The epidemiological clustering suggested that this cyanide poisoning is due to localized tampering. Investigation revealed that the affected Tylenol bottle came from different production batch. This photo shows one of the production batch that have been tampered with cyanide that have broken seal. This ruled out the manufacturing phase as the source of cyanide poisoning. The investigation concluded that the tampering likely occurred at retail level. This case highlights the importance of tamper-proof packaging, especially in pharmaceutical level. Now, let's move to the method used to detect the presence of cyanide, which is calorimetric test. However, there's no specific name of the calorimetric test mentioned. The basic step of the calorimetric test is by adding chemical reagent to the sample, and the presence of cyanide will change the solution color. The picture shows the test that they performed back in 1982 to detect the presence of cyanide, and the darker solution indicate that the cyanide is present. This is a very quick and easy test to perform. However, a study in 2020 revealed that the presence of interference can lead to false negative, especially at low analyte concentration. And this highlight the importance of method reliability in toxicological investigation.
Based on the analysis, few recommendations are identified to prevent similar incidents in the
Let's
future.
begin with the first point, reform FTA guidelines. This focus on improving on how medication are being regulated before they reach the public. Firstly, we propose stricter regulation of over-the-counter or OTC because these medication are easily accessible and widely used. So, without proper oversight, they can be misused or abused. Secondly, mandatory reporting of adverse drug event as required by FTA regulatory framework. This help detect health risk early and allow quick action to be taken. Lastly, we recommend enforcing pre-market safety evaluation for drug packaging. This ensures all packaging are tested for safety, clarity, and tampering resistance before they're allowed to be on the market. Now that we have looked at the regulation, let's move on how we can improve physical safety of the drug product themselves through better packaging. The second point is improve drug packaging safety. Firstly, we suggest seal blister pads to prevent tampering or contamination before the product is used. Second, we use tamper evidences and label to detect if the product has been opened or altered. Next, we enhancing child-resistant feature to reduce child poisoning in the household of young children. While prevention is the key, but we must also be prepared to act quickly when the things go wrong. This brings us to our final point, which is to strengthening toxicology protocol, an important area when there is sudden death or unexplained death. Firstly, we recommend standardized poisoning screening procedure for consistency and reliability across the country. Second, there should be faster detection of toxic substance such as cyanide to determine the cause of death. Third, develop rapid response toxicology units to accelerate investigation and provide expert support when needed. Lastly is investing in advanced technology units such as mass spectrometry will enhance detection in terms of sensitivity and accuracy of identifying of toxic substance like cyanide.
911, what's your emergency?
The Tylenol killer was never caught, but what happened next saved countless lives. In September 1982, panic spread as healthy people suddenly collapsed and died. Forensic toxicologists quickly identified cyanide as the cause. The rapid analysis confirmed the capsules had been tampered with. Johnson & Johnson responded by recalling over 31 million bottles of Tylenol, costing the company more than $100 billion. Although the person responsible was never found, the tragedy sparked nationwide reform. It changed how pharmaceuticals are made, packaged, and regulated forever. There are several powerful lessons we can take from this case. First, rapid toxicological analysis is critical as it can literally prevent further death. Second, tamper-evident packaging becomes essential. Without it, there is no way to ensure public safety. And finally, this case showed that the crisis-driven innovation it led to improvement not just in toxicology, but in public policy and consumer protection. And these lessons still impact us today. Today, every time we buy medicine, whether it's a pill, capsule, or liquid, it's protected by tamper-evident seals because of this project. In 1983, the Federal Anti-Tampering Act was passed, making it a crime to tamper with consumer products. This case is now taught in toxicology, forensic science, and public health courses around the world. It's remembered as a turning point where science, corporate responsibility, and public safety come together.
I always try to do the best I can for my family, and that includes using a pain reliever I can really trust. For many years, we've taken Tylenol. I discovered Tylenol in the hospital when I had my second child. It worked then, and I've used it ever since. Turns out Tylenol is the pain reliever hospitals use most, and that's been so for more than 10 years. Well, if hospitals trust Tylenol, that confirms my own trust.
For relief you can trust Tylenol. Hospitals do. Tylenol, safety sealed for your protection.
In just a few days, 7 lives were lost, but in the aftermath, millions were protected. This case highlights how forensic science plays a vital role, not just in solving crimes, but in shaping public safety and policy. Thank you for watching our forensic toxicology case study. We hope it helped show how real-world tragedies can lead to lasting change.